Hey everybody, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. And I really don't know how to say this, but today we're going to look at one of my least favorite episodes in Princess Sofia's second season. But before we get to it, I need to give you viewers a little backstory. Back in February 2018, I looked at the episode A Hero for the Hoodwings from the Mystic Isles saga, and while it was okay due to Clover being the central focus, one of the highlights of that episode was when Sofia meets the Isles' wee Sprites, whom in that episode are much louder than the giant Rompkins. By the way, for those who don't remember, wee Sprites are small humanoid creatures that resemble humans, and they live for fun and are very mischievous to the point of acting like villains. Because once invited into somebody's home, they are magically bound there, not leaving until they announce it themselves, while in the meantime, they cause a lot of chaos. So, during late into Season 2, after a 3-month-long hiatus, before Sidekick Cleo, before Carol the Arrow, even before Buttercup Amber, Jamie Mitchell and his team had to introduce Princess Sofia to these little pranksters in an episode where she not only gets a magical gift from Princess Elena via her amulet, but also gets cursed. So, let's get this one over with. Airing on television on July 1st, 2015, this is The Littlest Princess. Now, on for the plot of the episode. While picking flowers for the annual gift day party, Sofia discovers 3 wee Sprites named Button, Benji, and Brody, who are trapped in the water fountain. After rescuing them, her amulet glows and grants her the ability to shrink or grow whenever she wished. Sofia wants to bring the Sprites home so that they can have a place to live, but her mom, Queen Miranda, does not let her. Unfortunately, when Sofia disobeys her mom, the amulet curses her and prevents her from growing big. But what's even worse is that the wee Sprites start making trouble in the castle, and Sofia, with help from Queen Miranda, must get them out or she'll be small forever. So, my thoughts? Well, it did start out very promising, and some parts were good. This episode was still one of my least favorites from Season 2. And to explain what I mean, let's move on to Mustang notes. And quickly, before I get a huge migraine. Now, firstly, this episode was aired on television after a 3-month-long hiatus. Secondly, the moral of this episode is you should always have faith in your loved ones and listen to them when they're trying to help you, even if it's your parents. And trust me, this is pretty much one of the most common lessons when it comes to growing up, even in the realms of Disney. Thirdly, not only is this the 3rd episode where Sofia gets a magical blessing from Princess Elena via the Amulet of Avalor, which in this episode is the ability to grow or shrink, but this is the 3rd time where the amulet unleashes a curse on someone. The previous times were in the Amulet and the Anthem, and the Curse of Princess Ivy. Fourthly to note, we learn in this episode that the amulet can take away a blessing by turning it into a curse, and can only be restored as a blessing if another good deed is done for the same people. Now, as I said earlier, there are a few things in this episode that are pretty good. For example, the CGI animation by Toei is still awesome. I'm serious, ever since the beginning of Season 2, they've really improved with character rendering and environments. And for this episode, I think they've done great with depicting how things look in a small perspective. Another thing that I kind of liked in this episode is the song It's a Small New World, which is sung by Sofia, expressing how much fun it is being small. In my opinion, while the title is obviously a pun on Disneyland's It's a Small World, I think this song is really sweet, cute, and charming to listen to. Plus, I just love the guitar music that plays in the background. As for the story, well, to me, it's very, very cliched, due to it being way too similar to Blue Sky's epic, Arthur and the Invisibles, George Shrinks, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and The Borrowers. Plus, this episode has a truck full of over-the-top shenanigans from those pesky Wii Sprites. And that's all I got from Mustang Notes. So let's move on to the characters and the voice actors. Princess Sofia is voiced by Ariel Winter, whom was young Kairi in the Kingdom Hearts game series, Marina in Jake and the Neverland Pirates, Penny Peterson in DreamWorks' Mr. Peabody and Sherman, Marlene in the complete version of Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, young Trixie in Speed Racer, and Smurf Lily in Smurfs The Lost Village. Mostly throughout the whole series, Sofia is a kind, sweet, helpful, and generous princess, and this episode is no different, due to her rescuing the Wii Sprites from the fountain. And I'm happy that Princess Elena has given Sofia a new power, the ability to shrink or grow whenever she wishes, which does come in handy a few times later in the series. Plus, for those who don't remember, Sofia's previous blessings were the ability to talk to animals and the ability to transform into a mermaid. However, while it was very wrong of her to disobey her mom, Sofia is still very likable, and she did have good intentions for bringing the Wii Sprites into the castle. Still, I don't think I would ever want to be in her shoes and be stuck the size of an ant all day. I mean, it was really bad enough when her voice was cursed to croak last time. Next is Sofia's bunny friend, Clover, voiced by Wayne Brady, whom was in Clifford's Really Big Movie, Stuart Little 3, and Food Fight. Now, as I said several times, Clover has got to be one of my favorite characters in Sofia's series. During this episode, while his role isn't really that big or important, I like that he tells Sofia that her amulet has put a curse on her and she needs to get the Wii Sprites out of the castle to break it. Plus, I like that Clover gives Sofia a ride on his back while going through the castle. Next we have Sofia's mom, Queen Miranda, voiced by Sarah Ramirez, whom I remember from the Grey's Anatomy TV series. To me, Miranda is still a warm and caring mother. Also, like in A Royal Mess, she shares her husband's dislike for secrecy, and she has better detective skills than Roland. By the way, the reason why Miranda told Sofia not to let the Wii Sprites into the castle is because she's heard very negative things about them from a candle maker. Another thing that I like regarding Miranda is that this is the very first time that she directly helps Sofia solve a problem instead of just pointing her in the right direction. Also, she almost finds out about Sofia's secret regarding her amulet when her daughter tells her that she was cursed for her disobedience. Finally, we have the episode's Wii Sprites, Brody, Bungie, and Button, voiced by Vargas Mason, Sean Astin, and Isla Fisher. Like all Wii Sprites, these guys are very small and they love to have fun and cause mischief, which of course usually gets out of hand if they are ever invited into somebody's house, and will only leave if they are tricked into saying that they want out. To me, they seemed pretty friendly when Sofia first met them, but after Sofia brings them into the castle against her mom's wishes, they become over the top, mischievous, sneaky, and out of control, like when they wreck the gifting day party. And there's the fact that they have a teleportation ability. Thankfully, their shenanigans comes to a stop when Queen Miranda and Princess Sofia trapped them in a toy castle, which made them say that they wanted to leave the castle, which not only got them out, but also broke Sofia's curse. However, the reason why the wee sprites wanted in Sofia's castle is because they missed having a home of their own. So, at the end of the episode, after the party, Sofia lets the wee sprites move into her dollhouse away from the castle for safety reasons. And now, let's move on to my final words. Overall, The Littlest Princess isn't the greatest episode in Sofia's second season, but it's not terrible either. Sure, I was pretty disappointed after watching it, but there were things that kept it from being the absolute worst. And yes, it's not as bad compared to a royal mess. I like the fact that this episode teaches children that listening to your parents is very important. The CGI animation is still good, especially when it comes to a microscopic perspective. The episode's song number is really cute and charming, and I also like that Sofia gets a new magical blessing from Princess Elena via the Amulet of Avalor. But it gets ruined when she disobeys her mom. Plus, I like that both Sofia and Miranda team up together to get the wee sprites out of the castle, despite the fact that she almost found out about the secret of her daughter's amulet. As for the wee sprites themselves, well, even if they do have a very sympathetic side to them, they still make other small characters like the Leafmen, Ninimoys, and Borrowers a lot more likable. And trust me, this isn't the only time where they cause trouble in the series. Despite some good things, this is still one of my least favorite episodes in Sofia's show. So, my rating for this episode will be a 55% out of 100. Well, that's all for now. Join me next time where we look at an episode where Sofia has to choose between playing Dazzle Ball with her siblings or with her village friends. Mustang Power.